Actually, let me take my see we get the audio going. What's going on, everybody? So real quick, man, real quick, some news just came across the desk. We did hear about this potentially happening, but it seems as if it is now starting to come to fruition. And let me also say that just because you hear a fight has been agreed upon does not mean the fight has been made official. Okay, so as we're hearing right now, the WBO has officially ordered negotiations between uh, technically current WBO welterweight champion. No, let me backtrack. Current WBA junior welterweight champion, Sebastian Terence Crawford, who is technically still the WBO welterweight champion from the last time I checked. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm gathering. They have ordered negotiations between Terence Crawford and current WBO junior middleweight champion, or newly crowned, I should say, and that is Sebastian Fundora. Now, some of you may be asking, but wait a minute, doesn't he have a fight coming up against Errol Spence? To my previous point I just made, just because a fight has been agreed upon does not mean that the fight has been made official. Okay, and but the fight that we were hearing that essentially was penciled in between Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence has been rumored to be taking place in October. I've been hearing Dallas, and now you're trying to schedule a fight football season at AT&T, which the scheduling has to be very, very, very fine tuned and or figured out in advance. As right now, we're like heading into September after this weekend. I think all the focus right now is going to be on Canelo's fight with Edgar Berlanga, but we're already hearing talks about Gervonta Davis fighting in November, which is obviously going to be another pay per view. Did the PBC have enough to do an Errol Spence and Fundora fight on pay per view in October to go flip and do it again with Tank in Vegas for November against what I'm guessing right now is going to be Valenzuela? But don't quote me on that just yet. But right now, the WBO, like I figured they would at some point sooner than later, they are now officially ordering this fight between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora. Now, for those that are in the know, that kind of see what someone maybe call the proverbial writing on the wall, is the idea that Fundora will just drop the WBO belt and defend the title ultimately against what is on paper to be Errol Spence Jr. That is the first thing that would come up in my head. But as I'm making this video, guys, we have no official word that Fundora and Spence is a go. We have no official date, no venue. Errol Spence, do we even know who his trainer is? He's been out of the ring for quite some time. We've been hearing some little chitter chatter about like he's very happy, he's doing really well. I don't know. I mean, I think right now, Errol Spence, it's really a big question mark. But the fact that the WBO are ordering negotiations for this fight to happen really does clarify one thing, that Fundora and Spence is not official yet. There's no signed contracts because the WBO wouldn't press for negotiations to happen if the fight was already made and done. What I'm guessing may happen is if that the W if the PBC actually do go ahead with this fight and Fundora goes ahead with this fight with Spence, that he's probably either gonna vacate the title or they're gonna strip him, thus maybe putting it around Crawford's waist anyway. But that's the word coming out right now. They have made it official. The WBO have ordered negotiations between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora, which would be for the unified junior middleweight championship. Because at this stage right now, Fundora is the WBO WBC champion, and Terence Crawford is the WBO champion. Excuse me, WBA champion. Now, if the WBO and they did go along with this, I mean, here you go. This is Crawford, in essence, getting very close to potentially fully unifying 154 pounds. Or if you want to go the next, step further and suggest that Fundora, this is a big fight for Fundora. And I'm just wondering, like, if you're Fundora at this point, or if maybe you do already know that this Spence fight is going to go through. Um, if the fight doesn't go through with Spence, do you take this fight? Because his pops didn't seem very adamant about wanting to take a fight with Terence Crawford. But if you don't take a fight with Errol Spence Jr., what's the next biggest fight? It is Terence Crawford. Let alone it be for um, a unified junior middleweight championship. I'm just wondering why Fundora would turn that down. I mean, that's the next biggest fight. Because then there wouldn't be a lot of room for you to deny, like, all right, well, why aren't you taking that fight? So I guess we'll have to see, like, ultimately, and we're going to know soon because you got 30 days. So within these 30 days, I think we're going to really know if this Fundora and Spence fight is happening. And then which if it is, he's very likely Fundora going to vacate the title. It just is what it is. So, but that's the word right now. The WBO have officially um, ordered negotiations between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora. We'll see if they even commence, or if we get word that he is indeed going to fight Errol Spence Jr., meaning Fundora. So that's pretty much it. Let me know. Do you want to see a Crawford Fundora fight if the Spence Fundora fight doesn't happen? I would say yes if Crawford is still not pressing for the Canelo fight, but I really don't think any decisions or talk is going to be done until after September 14th. I mean, realistically, I don't think Crawford is going to hop to just fight the Fundora for that. So that's another thing I thought about too. So they got 30 days, but in 30 days, the fight with Canelo and Berlanga would have culminated already, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll get a final nail in the coffin as to concerns like if Crawford's really gonna not press for a Canelo fight, and that would be the next best fight with Fundora if he takes it. So tangled web, man, tangled web of boxing. So that's pretty much it. I'll keep you guys posted if any news comes about with this fight. So I'm out of here. Peace.